When it came to an end with Hulk Hogan and the WWF, because he did have some hokey pokey spots in '02, '03, '04, '05. We know we're going to do the match against Vince at WrestleMania. We're going to do the whole, Mr. America deal. So we had some fun stuff along the way. But I think it usually came down to, as you like to say, the two C's. The rumor and innuendo is Hogan would be less than pleased with some of his payoffs and be frustrated. I mean, even Meltzer in the obituary that he just wrote for Hulk Hogan talked about the SummerSlam '05 match with Shawn Michaels, which set a SummerSlam record for pay per views. I mean, it did gangbuster business.
Mhm.
And then he got what he felt like was a shortchanged payoff. I'm sure you're having to deal with some of that. What can you tell us about Hulkster's frustration with payoffs? Would you have to deal with it? Would it start with you and then you kick it to Vince, or how did that usually work?
It started with me. I was always the scapegoat in that regard because nobody's going to challenge Vince's judgment or his wisdom, but
Yeah.
they sure as fuck would challenge mine, and it made it tough. Made it really tough. So I I don't know, Connie. I think that he was never going to be pleased with the money because it's never enough. When you got a talent that thinks that they're worth more than they are, sometimes their mind cannot be changed. I don't remember what Hogan got during my run as a head of talent and working with the payoffs and stuff, but I always felt like he was very well compensated. I mean, he was making six-figure payoffs like they were, raindrops. They're everywhere. Just so I don't know, man. We're in a can't win situation with him in that respect. And I think if he had had a long run as a new champion, but he couldn't hold up. His body was forsaking him. So he was a special attraction guy. That's why the match with Shawn Michaels, notwithstanding the fact that Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest in-ring performers who ever lived, uh, but his match with Vince was an attraction. There's
Yes.
that word again, attraction. Was it going to be a great match? No. But was it a great attraction? Absolutely.
We're talking about SummerSlam 2005 against Shawn Michaels. It did 640,000 buys on pay per view. Hogan got a $250,000 payoff, which even Meltzer called ridiculously small based on that number of pay per
How would
views.
Meltzer know? How would he know? Did he do a forensic study of the financials? No. It's just one way to stir the shit. I think that I take pride in the payoffs, and I think if you talk to a lot of the wrestlers back in the day, they'll say JR was a fair payoff guy. You got to remember that it was discretionary monies. There wasn't a formula where he'll get X percentage of the gross, or he'll get so many dollars per pay per view. There wasn't a formula. It was discretionary, and that's a very dangerous word to use and when you're making a payoff because you're leaving yourself open for controversy and mistrust and things of that nature. So, but I always felt like we took good care of Hogan.
Well, it always comes down to those two C's. You always tell us about that. But I do want to ask about the creative for that match because that SummerSlam '05 match has become one of the more infamous matches in wrestling history. I'm sure you recall Shawn Michaels had some pretty over the top selling, and he did a promo the next night where he basically said, "Hey, that was a fake match that I threw." I mean, so it's clear that these guys came to an impasse, and I can only assume it's based on the creative and the finishes and who was winning and is there a rematch and all that sort of jazz. What do you remember of the SummerSlam '05 performance by Shawn Michaels? Why it happened the way it did, and if there was any fallout on Shawn for his selling, if you will.
Well, I think that Shawn proved again how great he was
Yeah.
uh, because he carried a battered, uh, kind of coming apart guy like Hogan. When your back is bad, that's a kiss of death for a wrestler. Because how many things end with a flat back? And I think that that stands out to me is that Shawn adjusted his game, adjusted his pace to take care of Hulk. And did he go overboard? Yeah. But and part of that was out of spite, I think. I might be wrong. So I don't know, Connie. I think that you know, I'm trying to think and put my words together here, but Shawn did all he could to make that match great. I thought it was one of the greatest performances of Shawn Michaels' career when he worked with Hogan and did the honors. I thought it was one of the greatest performances I'd ever seen. I still think about it today. I admire Shawn for so many things in his life. You got to remember, I was around Shawn Michaels when Jose Lothario introduced him to the Cowboy back in the Mid-South days. So I've been around Shawn his entire career. But I thought he had an amazing outing and was very unselfish in how he protected Hulk, taking those massive bumps to make the match better. And those big bumps did that. They helped you a lot.
We are live here. If you've got a question for Jim Ross, we're talking a little Hulk Hogan, trying to pay tribute. And one of the biggest questions I think that everybody has comes from Alex. Alex wants to know, in your eyes, Jim Ross, what will be the final legacy for Hulk Hogan? Like, what do you think he'll be remembered for the most, Jim?
Greatest babyface of all time. How's that for a statement?
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan was the greatest babyface of all time. And that's not knocking his heel work, because when he was put together with in the NWO, that was magic. That was also magic. It was right place, right time, right guys, and that's what great booking is: identifying what's the right place, who are the right people, and you had all that with the NWO and Hogan's heel run. But at the end of the day, his long-term memory to me will be the fact that he was absolutely gifted as a babyface. He knew how to get himself over, and sometimes that could bite you in the ass because you start overthinking and over philosophizing things. And I think he had the guilty pleasure of his was that he had the ability to put the brakes on if he wanted to.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment, and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.